So, all right, ladies, thank you for joining us on the Get Up and Scale podcast.
I wanted to start by asking, are you guys listeners of the podcast?
We are. We have listened before.
Really?
Mike, our CEO, has been on the pod.
Yeah.
So we're big fans.
Nice.
Did you guys all go to hibachi last night? Were you guys
did.
both
Of
there?
course.
How was it?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, he said it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Everyone's
a
been talking
time.
about
It is so
It was
much
a time.
fun. Also, for a company event, very untraditional,
Yes.
but it was really, really fun. It
Nice.
was a good time.
We had to experience it for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we send so many parties that way. We have to see what's all the hype about, and it
Was
lived
that
up.
the first time you guys have done it, or?
That was the first time I had done the in-person,
Me
at
too.
home.
And hibachi has been explosive this year in terms of what our parties are doing. So it's only fair that we try it
cool.
ourselves.
So you talk about your parties. Could you tell a little bit about yourselves and the batch and how hibachi plays into that?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. So I'm Madison, run sales for the batch team. Shauna is a lead sales rep with us as well. And the main goal of what we do is finding the best experiences, activities, services for groups. So main focus has been on bachelorettes from day one, but we've recently shifted to other group types, bachelor parties. We get some divorce parties even. We have a lot of birthdays, just general group trips. And what we found is hibachi, anything interactive and at home, has done really, really well through the COVID era, where everything shifted to finding really great home rentals where you can host amazing parties, still kind of have that like fun atmosphere, but make it more intimate and just different.
Yeah. That's awesome. So on your platform, hibachi's listed. It's a big experience in a lot of your cities.
Yes, it really expanded probably a little faster than we anticipated. We put it on, and all of a sudden, every city it was in, it was getting booked up. I mean, everyone was looking forward to it. So
Yeah, and then a bunch of businesses have kind of spun off as a result. So
They see the success and they're like, I'm going to do a similar home-based experience, basically.
exactly, and we see that with a few other industries too. So hibachi is one example, but then also we partnered with a business called Cabana Boys early on in the batch creation, and now there's so many different versions of Butler Boys, Cocktail Cowboys, and they're across.
Butler Boys.
This sounds
every
like
city.
perfect for TikTok.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we wanted you guys to come on is I know that with our business here at Tour Scale, like 2/3 of our trip organizers are female, and then about half of, like a little bit more than half of our customers. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, so on social, 75% of our engagement is female.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know like bookers like what that correlates
It's
to, but it's higher female than male.
Yeah.
So we all want to know, what do women want, right?
When booking.
When booking. I'm sure there's a lot of things women want. We know what women want in men. I mean, look at us, right? Like, but what do they look for when they're like looking for an experience?
Yeah, so
Because you guys cater a lot to that market. You have a lot of
Right.
experience marketing specifically to women. So what works?
yeah, it was definitely, as Madison said, we started off with the niche of bachelorettes. So it was all the women coming in and seeing exactly what they wanted, then taming the animal that was bachelors and figuring out how to break into that was really interesting moving forward as well. But with the bachelorettes, what we saw is, like Madison said, the experiential components of things. So something that makes it a little different than the ordinary, makes it a little bit more special. So the hibachi with having them there and, the lively personalities that come with it, or for industries like boating, having the pink boat or something that makes it a little different than everything else on the water, the fun Instagrammable backgrounds and things like that. And of course, this is like a general consensus. Everyone is different. We see different types of parties, but there are those little key things that a special twist on it makes it a little bit more fun and available to what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think what Shauna alluded to, content is key for at least what we see for a majority of the bachelorettes and the girls. And you mentioned it, how majority of the social base and the community that we've built is predominantly female. And they want to see, they make decisions based on how they feel watching something and watching the content.
You
that
think women are
different-
emotional?
Us?
Emotional
No.
decisions?
But it really does help, and that's kind of why platforms like TikTok and Instagram have been so influential for decision making for consumers in general, but for women specifically, because they want to see, oh my gosh, what Shauna mentioned, that amazing pink bow or this additional like add-on that you can get that makes you feel more special than just the ordinary, and that really is what
it's
moves the
specialty
needle
factor.
for the decision making.
The like exclusivity of the idea too. So like a batch exclusive experience. So on, everywhere else you can get a dining experience, but here it brings a drag queen in or something like that adds that different and touch for sure.
Yeah, no, and I think like for instance our bachelorette experience, we added something simple like bachelorettes get a champagne pop off, like a send off, and like that little change and putting it in front of them, like said like okay, there's 3 bachelorette activities, and one of them is saying like we're gonna. You good? You see it?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So
Never talk to the audience. You can't break the third wall here. We're professionals, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
If I'm gonna sneeze, no one will ever know I even had to until you called it out.
Gonna edit it out. So one of the things you guys do at your company, because we're listed on there, is you batchify a listing.
Yeah.
And some of those things is you take the info we submit and you tailor it towards like your audience, which of course is mostly female. So what kind of stuff do you do during that process?
That is a great question. I was just going to bring something up similar, because something as simple as just changing one word on a title makes such a difference. A prime example is we used to we currently partner with a drag brunch in Miami, and their listing title used to say Unlimited Mimosa Drag Brunch. And we changed the word unlimited to bottomless, and immediately within a day, their conversion rates and their bookings just spiked. So we really look at how our customer engages with different keywords, photos, pricing, really just how we're wording descriptions, but really because they're so visual and because the title is just much more bold, we really want to make sure we have something that's optimized for how our customer interacts.
Yeah, I was going to say the title specifically, making sure it has those, buzzwords, keywords, but then also the photo. So the first photo, we're all visual. It's what catches the eye, and our parties want to be looking at the marketplace and say, that group of people is what I want my friends to be doing. So they see them interacting at the brunch, with the drag queen throwing money on them. And it's like, I want that to be what I'm doing in 2 weeks' time.
That's the way I think about content, is you want to see yourself
Right.
in whatever you're seeing, right? And to imagine how fun it is. And it's really hard to pick that perfect shot,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we'll a lot of times A/B test different hero photos and lead images, as well as kind of the order of other photos that we have too. And in the vein of content, we also just added the ability to add video to listings, which is really gives you that feel of what you can expect if you're booking something yourself and riding the bike or on the boat, and it really has made such a difference.
Yeah, videos sell everything. I use Fair Harbor, and I talk to them all the time. I'm like, how do we not have videos in our listings? Like, that's literally what sells our tours. That's what every talk is about, is like, use more videos on socials.
Right.
But then when they get to your website, there's no videos, and it's like, unless they click on a YouTube link and whatever,
The other element too is social proof. So seeing, okay, how many ratings and reviews does this experience have? How many people have booked this? And making it, you feel more confident in purchasing something yourself, especially if it's a high ticket price. So something else we're doing as phase 2 of video is adding the ability to have user generated content on different business pages. So you can see exactly who the customer is who filmed that TikTok or that Instagram that's now on your batch profile and when they went on their party. So it really builds a bigger community within the experiential market.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I feel like the higher the price point, the more social proof you need, right? Because the more you're going to consider it and the more you want to feel like it's going to be worth it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I almost think like, just having this conversation, I'm like, I should just offer like bachelor or bachelorette kayak tours and just put a little spin on it.
That's what we do.
Yeah, it's like,
some extras.
why doesn't everyone just do that?
And in a booking software, you just hit the duplicate button, change the picture and name to
Yeah, we
yourself,
all
Yeah.
and drag it in your button code.
Yeah.
When people downstairs ask me like, what is your Like, what's a big tip? It's like spend 3 minutes
Find those cohorts and then create pages around that. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's a really good way to do it. So what do girls want is the question. Okay. They want unique experiences. They want social proof, and they want to feel like they could be in that experience with video, photo, whatever else. Yeah. Are we missing anything?
They want to be special, right? They want the special touches.
Ultimately, in terms of their planning behavior, they want to build out an itinerary minute by minute. Mm-hmm. And usually what we see in terms of, and this is for bachelorettes predominantly, but what we see is they will pick one hero experience, one big experience for each day, and then center their itinerary around it. And they're planning out really far in advance. Something else we've seen that kind of fits into how they like to plan is this past year we launched a weekend chauffeur service with one of our partners, and that has just totally taken off because it's by a specific timeline. They don't have to think about when they need to get picked up, how many
don't
cars
need to order
they
Ubers.
need to call.
And
what does that chauffeur do when is she just chilling in her car out front?
Well, she's great too. So again, it's also like the experiential. She's got a great personality. She has other people, and her fun spin is she's got karaoke in her car, so she gives everyone a fun, fake microphone. And so she leaned into that, a really good idea on the side of a hero experience, but with that specialty touch on top of it. And the hero experiences also, just to kind of cover what we're talking about, would be the party buses, the water activities, and dining experience are our big daily ones. And then there's a lot of other things that, trickle in that they're looking for on top of that.
I'm stuck on this now. Why is bottomless better than unlimited?
I think people are mostly accustomed to seeing a bottomless menu at a restaurant. Yeah. So it's just the small
the word matches
variation.
It's
unlimited
like
feels kind of masculine to me too, right? Like unlimited,
It's salesy.
It's salesy.
It's less. Yeah, there's less. It has less of a playful attitude.
Bottomless is fun for sure.
You should have the fun terms, the more descriptive, emotional, evocative terms probably.
Yes.
Bottomless is a lot punchier than unlimited, which is kind of cold and descriptive. Yeah.
Like
That's
champagne pop or things like that. Something
pop
that
Send off.
Action words.
Yeah.
So what are maybe a couple other trending experiences that you guys have seen recently beyond the hibachi? Is there anything that stands out that you're like, oh, that's cool, and it seems like it's kind of a growing trend?
So anything drag related.
That's come up a lot.
The drag brunches are really popular.
And drag goes beyond it too, which I think
has really opened up the floodgates. So not just drag brunch, but drag bingo. So someone the drag queen comes to you, drag murder mystery party. They leaned into all the different verticals that they could, and I think that's definitely taken.
Has anyone put a drag on a boat that you know of so far?
We have drag buses.
Okay,
yeah,
so
but
it's a step in the right direction.
Right. Yeah.
Step in the right direction. But outside of that, I would say welcome amenities. So charcuterie delivery has become really popular, as well as a business that we were just talking about before this. But
so a business started in Scottsdale that makes waffles of fun shapes.
I could imagine. You could say what the
penis waffles.
Okay.
There it is.
This is a rated R podcast.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I don't know if I want to just be yelling penis on podcasts, but professionally. But no, that took off and actually expanded into a few markets with us as well, which is super exciting to see. But again, she found a niche, a gap, and ran with it. And it worked, and so.
I think the common theme I'm sensing in all this is in-person entertainment that's personality based, which I think is the highest form of entertainment, right? Anything that's environmental, or it's just watching TV, but live in-person people, there's some magic there, right? When you have watching comedy on TV versus being in a comedy club, it's totally different. When you have a real person engaging with you in your party who's well-trained and entertaining, to me, I can see why this works, is I think that's the common thread with all this stuff.
Exactly. And I think what's fun is also, specifically with bachelorettes, you're bringing together a group of people. They all might not know each other. They all come from all different types of the bride's life. And so when you bring in the fun entertainer into it, it's an easy way that everyone's interacting with them. Like the Cabana boys just open up the floodgates to making fun games. Everyone's involved, everyone's enjoying it, and it's an automatic way to, you know, get close in a different way that doesn't just consist of forcing everyone to be together and interacting with just each other. It makes it kind of like an easier gateway into like interacting for the weekend.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you for coming on and sharing that with us. Yeah, that was very insightful, for sure.
We've all learned what women want.
Yeah, now we know.
We've all taken away some very key ideas.
Thank you for having us.
For tourism.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was cool. How can people partner with Batch if they're interested? People listening, like shout out to either you guys or the Batch or whatever.
Yeah,
How do they get in
definitely.
touch?
Our website is the best place to go. We have a partner inquiry form and section of our website there, and Shauna and I are the best people to talk to. So
Letsbatch.com.
Letsbatch.com.
BATCH.
We'll link that inquiry form in the description.
Awesome.
And if they're not in your city, they'll hopefully be there one day.
Exactly. Or you can find us on Instagram, DM us, slide in, and we're excited. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much.